It's been about 2 weeks since free agency has started, and there has been some movers, some shakers, and also some blunders from a certain team from California. In the next few moments, I'll tell you about the good, the bad, and the ugly of free agency so far. I'm your host, Trenton Hill, and this is Hill Time Sport. We die on that hill. First, let's get into who I feel has had the best free agency so far. And it hurts my pea-picking Philadelphia Eagles heart to say that it is the Washington Commanders. From protecting Jaden Daniels to improving a defense that's, let's face it, did not belong in the NFC Championship game, and if the Lions were not injured, probably wouldn't have made it. Here's a list of moves that they've made. They traded for Laramie Tunsil, who ranked 4th in pass blocking out of 141 other tackles and 25th in run blocking. That's great and all, but let's look at his 19 penalties, which were the league leader, and ranks him dead last. Was it because he played for the Texans, or was it just his own doing? We will find out this year with a better team. Then there's Deebo Samuel, who is coming off a down year. He was bottom half of every wide receiver category, and that could possibly be because, well, he played for a banged-up 49ers team. But this year, he's looking to have a resurgence of sorts, a la 1968 Elvis Presley, and with Scary Terry McLaurin on his team, that definitely will help. Although having Brandon Ayuk didn't help very much. Now, looking at this, you might say, oh, this is a great signing. And you would be right. Javon Kinlaw was great in the pass rush last year with a 68.2 grade on PFF. When you look at this signing, when you look at the signing of Javon Kinlaw, he was great in pass rushing last year with a 68.2, which ranked him 39th out of 219 defensive linemen. But it's the run defense that's a question mark. He had a 50.8 rating last year, and because the Philadelphia Eagles ran circles around their defense, will this guy improve that? That's my question. I am not sure if he can or if he will. They've had a lot of good signings. They signed Zach Ertz. They signed John Bates. Re-signed, I mean. Bobby Wagner is another great signing. He does add some veteran leadership. But Father Time is also undefeated. On paper, this team looks great. But we will find out if they're the real deal come football season or if they're like Cody Rhodes, only smoke and mirrors. Now, if Washington is my pick for the good, then who is the bad? There's a few candidates out there, but I think my pick goes to the Shady Shoals retirement home. I mean the Seattle Seahawks, because they've signed a bunch of old men, and maybe they can play this year, but I am unsure what their plan is. They signed Sam Darnold to a 3-year, $100 million contract. And for a guy who had a career resurgence, I don't think this warrants a $100 million contract when you have so many other problems on your team. I mean, Sam Darnold in his last game with the Vikings looked not so great. He looked like he was on the Jets again, and he looked blindsided by that Rams defense. Now, I'm going to say this. They also signed Cooper Kupp, who's on the downhill of his career. Can he still route run? Can he still do what he did in the 2021 Super Bowl? That's the question. I mean, that's a $45 million tag right there. That's a big price tag for a player who's been so injured that it makes a Jetta look reliable. Now, for me, the way I'm looking at Seattle right now is they look like the 2010s. I mean, the early 2010s Milwaukee Bucks, who just toiled around in purgatory for years and waited on someone like Giannis Antetokounmpo to save their franchise. But this year, I don't know if that player is even in the draft. I don't know what they're doing. I just don't know. Also, DeMarcus Lawrence signed with the team. He said he wanted to win a Super Bowl, but in my opinion, he downgraded from the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I am not a Dallas Cowboys fan, and you can check out the video where I taunt them with a little song, but Dallas is by far, in my opinion, better than Seattle right now. Like, I think they're better. Dak was injured last year. We'll see how they do this year. But yeah, he downgraded and he was like, oh, I want to win a championship. Then why didn't you go to someone like Philadelphia or Buffalo or Kansas City, anywhere but Seattle? I mean, they haven't had a good defense since the Legion of Boom. It's like Myles Garrett saying, oh, I want to compete, but yet he resigns with the Browns. Why would you resign with the Browns? Ooh, why? But he does add some leadership, and he's a capable veteran. A lot of these guys can be good players. They've shown that they've been good players over the years, except for Sam Darnold, who's a question mark. But if they all come together, they can do it. I think they can be a playoff team. That's why they're not in the ugly category, because that's reserved to the worst of the worst. I'm talking about their NFC West rivals, the San Francisco 49ers. And a year ago, the 49ers were in overtime away from being 6-time Super Bowl champions. And then last year, everything fell apart. Like a dysfunctional relationship, they had injuries and holdouts and questions about Brock Purdy. This team now holds the 11th pick in the draft, and there's rumors that they were going to trade Brock Purdy to the Titans for the first overall pick. I wouldn't do it. I would give Brock another year, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a GM, but this is just me as a fan. The 49ers are rebuilding. No, they're not rebuilding yet. They're creeping into a rebuild. They lost a lot of starters this year, and I've already talked about Deebo Samuel, but I think they'll be okay with McCaffrey and Ayuk and up-and-comer Jawan Jennings. I think the offense will be fine, and they have Trent Williams, who is still a great tackle at his age, but they lost Dre Greenlaw, Javarius Ward, Javon Hargrave, and many other key starters on defense. And it doesn't look good. I mean, they still have Nick Bosa and they still have other players, but who's going to play defense for them? What do they want to do? And look, here's a hot take for you. Kyle Shanahan is not the answer. He's not a great coach, and I'll tell you why. Do y'all remember 28-3? Who was in charge of that offense? Who forgot to run the ball? Who was running the ball in the first half and then decided, oh, we're not going to run it on the Patriots anymore, and we're going to just throw the ball and make a bunch of mistakes? Oh, it was Kyle Shanahan, of all people. Oh. And then a few years later, he goes to San Francisco, thinks Jimmy Garoppolo could go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes, and he forgets to run the ball again. They were up 10 points. And then they did it with Brock Purdy, forgot to run the ball with Christian McCaffrey. They were in overtime away from winning a Super Bowl, and they just fumbled. His play calling is not good. He's not Mike Shanahan. For all of the bad stuff that he did at the end of his career, Mike Shanahan won 2 Super Bowls with the Denver Broncos. And it's just ridiculous, dude. I do not think Kyle Shanahan has what it takes to lead the San Francisco 49ers to another Super Bowl. But let me know what you think in the comments. This is Hill Time Sports. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and running backs should be paid, in my opinion. There's a resurgence. I'll let you know why next time.